welcome back to my next episode here. I've been busy. I purchased one thing I'm going to show you, and I watched quite a few movies. And I'm just going to get straight to it, as always. No wasting any time here. This first one I watched is from Scream Factory. This is H.P. Lovecraft's From Beyond. This one is directed by Stuart Gordon. Oh, it stars Barbara Crampton and oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking on these people's names already. Not off to a good start here, sorry. It's Jeffrey Combs, Jesus. This one I've never seen before. I just purchased it off of Facebook Marketplace. It's a harder one to get here. And it does come with reversible art. The original stuff there. Show you that. It also comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD. So you got your choices there. But yeah, this movie, like, just by the cover, you can tell what you're getting here. H.P. Lovecraft. And it feels like, even if it didn't have his name on the cover, you would know this was H.P. Lovecraft. You can just feel the, like, color out of space, like, human blending with monster stuff from him. And everybody, like, it's solid. It's pretty damn good. I would say it's probably... I can't say that. I was going to say it's probably Crampton, Barbara's best role, but it's hard because Reanimator has both of them in it as well. And I like Reanimator more than I like this one. It's just fun. This one doesn't have, like, any comedy. It is just pure horror. Lots of just icky, gooey transformations. Barbara Crampton is like a doctor, basically, and she literally is a doctor. And Jeffrey Combs is working on an experimental project, and he accidentally, like, opens up a portal, we'll say, and combines people to their inner, like, demons. It's a really hard one to explain. It's out to lunch. But it's all about the visuals, obviously, and the storytelling. I would recommend anybody give this a watch, because if you like Reanimator, I should say that. If you like Reanimator, then give this a watch. It's same director. Yeah, Stuart Gordon did Reanimator, right? Pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% positive whether Stuart Gordon did Reanimator. I'm like 99.9% positive. But yeah, I'd definitely give that a watch if you can get your hands on it. I know Vinegar Syndrome just put it out on 4K as well, about 4 months ago or something. But I didn't need the 4K. I was happy with this, especially for $20. I think the Vinegar Syndrome 4K here in Canada is like in the 60s or something. It's brutal. And then next I'm going to get to back to my episodic DC animation films here. This is Batman and Superman, Battle of the Super Sons. This one is newer. I think this came out in like 2022 or 2023. It's fairly new. Good story here. It's Batman and Superman both have sons, and they are brought together, and Robin is obviously, he's got his normal attitude stuff going on. For anybody that doesn't know, he's basically acts like a spoiled brat, sort of. And they bash heads, him and Superboy, and eventually they figure out that they need each other and they can learn from each other, and it's a solid story. I enjoyed it quite a bit. There's a lot more to it than that, obviously, but I won't spoil it because I know Brendan from Our Life in Horror is starting to watch these, so I don't want to spoil too much of the plot. But great voice acting as always. Just solid stuff. Really enjoyed that one. And then this week, I'm also going to knock off the Insidious movies. Now, I already did Insidious, The Red Door, in my 2023 horror movie, so I'm not going to do that one. I'm just going to do the first few here. This is the very first one, the one that started the whole franchise. And man, is this one good. I hadn't watched it in a bit, at least a year or so. And everybody knocks it out of the park. I love the filming style. It feels like a it almost feels like found footage, but it isn't, obviously. But it feels like it on certain angles. Like, it feels like you're just a fly on the wall watching these people get tormented. Patrick Wilson, excellent job. Rose Byrne is a bit rough, but I've always found her acting a little bit shitty, to be honest. Like, to me, she's not bad. She just, I don't know, like, there's just something about the way she delivers some of her lines in a lot of movies that I've seen her in. Never been a huge Rose Byrne fan, but she does what's needed here, obviously. But man, are the scares awesome in this. And the storyline. It's just jump scares. Like, some of the jump scares are so quick and brutal that they get me every time I watch it. Like, during this watch, I had multiple moments where I knew it was coming, and I was like looking at it with one eye, basically. Like, it was like, this is gonna get me again. But excellent storyline in these. The reason why I did these is because when I was on Sinister Screens podcast, Craig was talking about how it's one of his favorite. He absolutely loves this franchise, and I thought I'd give them all a rewatch, front to back, because they deserved it. And to be honest, a couple of these grew on me. Like, I was only ever a fan of number 1 and number 2 here. I was only ever a fan of these first two. Now, the first one's directed by James Wan. Is the second one? Yeah, the second one is too. Okay. So this is same family returning here. Anybody that knows the ending from part 1, it continues the story into this one. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it continues the story into the second movie. And this family's just still being tormented by the ghosts and demons from the further. Lin Shaye is, in my opinion, this is Lin Shaye's best roles of her career. It's probably her biggest roles of her career too, that I've seen at least. But like, I've seen her in 100 freaking horror movies over the years, but these are where she like really shines. She takes center stage, and the storyline in this one is very well written. It delivers on some great scares again, but it just tells us good story. Like, it's very interesting and intriguing. I really love these first two. So actually, let me get my scores here. So From Beyond, I would have given this about a 3 to 3.5. Battle of the Super Sons would also be a 3.5. Insidious Part 1, to me, this is a 4.5. It's almost a 5. I like this a little less than The Conjuring, but it's pretty close to the 5 mark. And then Insidious Chapter 2, I would also give a 4.5. I love both of those. And then Insidious Chapter 3 here changes direction. This has new cast. This is a case Lin Shaye took before these first two Conjuring Insidious movies. So this was one of her previous cases. Great cast again, great acting from everybody. This one has a girl that's down on her luck. She wants to get away from her father, sort of. Not really, but sort of. She wants to just start doing something with her life after her mother dies. It doesn't show her mother die, but it tells you about it. And then, like, her dad is played by, oh my god, the heck's his name? I'm gonna have to look here. Dermot Mulroney. I'm so bad on freaking names. It's crazy. Unless I write stuff down and, like, prep everything, I'm terrible on names. But, there's some awesome scares in this, and this one I always thought was way worse than all the other ones. And it's still not as good as the first two, but it is still really solid. Like, this is, like, probably a 3.5. 3 to 3.5 for me. And before it would have been like, it's skippable. Like, that was my attitude on it. But it has some awesome scenes with her crippled, and she gets hit by a car. I don't want to spoil too much, but she gets hit by a car, she's crippled, and she just starts getting tormented by this creepy ass demon and / ghost. And there's so many good, like, moments in it. I won't spoil much more than that. It's a solid, must be seen. And then Insidious: The Last Key. Now this is like a Lin Shaye's character origin story. Basically just like I keep saying Lin Shaye. I should call her Elise. Like, her name's Elise in the movies. It's Elise's entire origin story, pretty much. Shows her as a kid. It goes back to the house she grew up in. There's something going on there. There's a couple little twists. It really builds up good. And this one, I remember watching when it first came out, and I wasn't a fan. I was just like, oh, this series has to end. And then on this watch, I quite enjoyed it. I think when you hear somebody else's excitement, like when Craig was telling me how much he likes these movies, I felt like I needed to revisit them, because I feel like when you hear someone else's excitement about something, it can give you a different outlook on the movie when you go in to watch it. And it did. Like, another solid. I would give this a 3. Maybe a 3.5. It's solid shit again. This week, this episode, I'm also going to show off, because I know a couple of my watchers like metal music. And I'm going to show off a record that I have here and there on an episode. And if you haven't heard the bands I show, these are like all my favorite metal bands of all time. And you should give them a check out, because, like, I only listen to the best metal. But yeah, I have spent years and years and years, my whole life basically, since I was a teenager, listening to metal music. And like on Spotify, I have created about a 4,000 song metal playlist that I've listened to entire albums by 100 bands probably. Every single one of their albums, I've picked and chosen all my favorite songs from their albums and compiled a massive playlist. And this is a band that I don't think a lot of people would know, but they are really popular in Germany, and that's Powerwolf. Beautiful cover art on these guys' albums, by the way. This is their newest album. This came out last year, the beginning of last year. They have another album coming out in July, and I'm so pumped. I've already got it pre-ordered. But yeah, it comes with good little set list of songs there. But yeah, this freaking artwork is off the charts here. Just love it. Like, these guys are like, what would I consider these guys? They're like religious metal. I I know that's not really a category, but it's like religious metal. They're not super heavy where you're like, "Ooh," like growling, which I also love a lot of bands of, but they're like just very good. I can just I'm not gonna bother. Just very good. But yeah, really nice stuff here. This came with a few things on the inside here. Like, it has this nice artwork here, and then it also has all the lyrics to all the songs on the back. Anybody that likes metal at all should give these guys a listen. And honestly, this is a band that I had a hard time taking any song off of all their albums. I went through and listened to every single one of their albums over the last few years, and multiple times at this point. But this is a band that I had a problem removing any of their songs off my Spotify playlist. I actually feel like every freaking album of theirs is like a... Okay, it's not a collector's edition. It's just black. It's not special color or nothing. But honestly, just give these guys a try. To all my metal lovers out there, if you haven't already. If you have, just tell me whether you enjoy them at all, because these guys came out of nowhere for me a few years ago. I was just going through, I was listening to a different band. It was under my recommended, and I clicked on a song. It was their most popular song, "We Drink Your Blood." And it just grabbed me immediately. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to an album, see if I like them back to front. Because that's how I judge how much I like a band, is if I can throw an album on, listen to it front to back, and in how much I enjoy the album. And then I'll start going through their entire library and listen to all of them. But to me, there's only... in the metal world, there's less than 20 bands that I can honestly say that I like almost every single song they've ever done. Like, no skippable songs in metal. And these guys are one of them. They would be in my top 20 metal bands of all time. So give them a try. I'll throw one in every few episodes of different bands that I recommend. And then my last little thing for this episode is a doozy. This is the John Wick. This is the Blu-ray set here with swappable cards in the front. Didn't watch that version because I also have them all on 4K. And this is where it's at for the John Wick movies. These movies are absolutely freaking gorgeous on 4K. And if you haven't seen, like, I'll just start in the first one and go through these here. This, overall, I think it's the greatest action series of all time. It hits all my marks. Now, other people would probably disagree because of, like, how much martial arts are in it, and just the different amounts of what, like, gun fu, and, like, there's even dog fu in these movies. Like, it's absolutely insane, the work that goes into these. I watched all the special features off every single one of these. I've seen it multiple times. I've seen all 4 chapters, even though chapter 4 just came out last year. I've seen it 4 times now, the chapter 4. And I've seen the other ones around 10 apiece. That's how much I love this franchise. The first one is the slowest. It's still got insane amounts of awesome action. And what are they, like, neo-noir colors, palettes, and the music is unreal from front to back in all 4 chapters. beautiful scores. Set pieces are just just perfect. Like every time you it shows a scene of a new area, it's just so well made. Uh, the director on all these, Chad Stahelski, he has been a stuntman like his entire life. Uh, I'm pretty sure he was the stuntman on the movie The Crow, which I just covered a few episodes ago. And I'm not sure if I'm 100% correct on this. Craig can correct me if I'm wrong, because I know he loves The Crow. So does Joe, actually, my other major follower. But I'm pretty sure that Chad Stahelski was the stand-in for Brandon Lee when Brandon Lee died. He's actually put on the face paint and stood in for scenes, and you can't even tell the difference really. But yeah, these are all him. I'm pretty sure they're the only 4 movies he's ever directed. And God, I wish he would just stick to it and keep giving me more, because I absolutely freaking love his directing style. Keanu Reeves puts the most work he's ever put into any movies he's ever done in his career into these. Months and months of martial arts training, gun training, just choreography training, unreal work. And you will see it all in the special features. He really gives it all in these. And yeah, the first movie, it just starts out, for anybody that hasn't seen them, I'll give you a base storyline. No spoilers, obviously, nothing like that, but the first one starts out very dark and somber. Keanu's, John Wick's wife has just died, and he is basically living in a house alone, and then all of a sudden a little puppy shows up at his house, and it was given to him by his wife post-mortem. He receives this dog from her, saying with a beautiful love letter that he's bawling his eyes out while reading. And so it begins. He goes out for a ride in his beautiful car, and I believe it's a Camaro SS, and I don't believe him, 99.9% sure. I'm not a huge car person, but this movie almost makes you want to be. It's crazy. He goes to a gas station, and there's a few little Russian punks there that want to buy his car, and he refuses, so they follow him home, break into his house, and what follows is one of the just tear-jerking moments of these pieces of garbage killing his baby puppy that he was just given from his wife, his deceased wife. And it's brutal. It's gut-wrenching. If you are a dog lover, this scene will bring tears to your eyes, guaranteed. And what they don't know is that they just fucked with the wrong person. This guy is the greatest killer in the history of mankind in this world. Even in films at this point, I'm pretty sure John Wick, across these 4 chapters, has wrapped up the greatest kill count in film history of any franchise. I'm pretty sure he's number 1. Ahead of James Bond, ahead of people that have 25 movies. But yeah, all serial killers in horror, everything. He is now the biggest serial killer in film history. And it is just non-stop action from this point, basically, with slow down moments throughout all 4 of these movies. Now I'm just going to blend all 4 of them together. It is non-stop, continuous storyline from chapter 1 to the end of chapter 4. It just continues, and the world building is so good. You just want to know more about this world as you're watching each movie. and they just keep giving you more, upping the action, upping the set pieces, upping the stunts, film by film, bringing in some cool side characters in each movie. Uh, Unbelievable. Like, I honestly can't say enough about these. I will probably watch these. I couldn't even tell you how many more times in my life. There's a spin-off coming out next year in 2025 called Ballerina. It's based off a side character in one of these in John Wick Chapter 3. I'm not sure whether it's going to be good or anything. I know Anna de Armas, I believe her name is, up and coming. Well, not up and coming. She's been an actress for years, but in the West, she's an up and coming actress. I'm praying to God it's good, but I don't think it's directed or written by the same guys as these, so I'm just hoping that it's still good. And everyone nails their roles. Like, it's a criminal. You got to go into these remembering that this is, like, take it as if you're reading a graphic novel, basically. And it's not really our world. It's its own world. Like a superhero world, basically, because not that there's anybody that has superpowers, but just take it as that, because if you don't, you might find some of the action a little too far-fetched and fake. I personally don't, but I could see if somebody came from that point of view and was like, all right, like, how can one man do all this? But just unbelievable, man. You got Lawrence Fishburne playing the king of the homeless. They have actual names, but I won't even bother using them, because for anybody that hasn't seen it, I'd rather you just see all this stuff for yourself. What's the name of the actor that plays? There's the leader of the Continental, Ian McShane. Jeez. Ian McShane is in all 4 movies. He plays basically a king of a hotel that all the hitmen in the world can go to, and you're not allowed to conduct business on the grounds. So it's basically the only place in the world where you can just rest. Amazing job there. So many people. Donnie Yen comes in number 4, gives one of his best, if not his best performance of his career. I know that's hard to say, because he's got the Ip Man movies and Star Wars Rogue One, which is amazing. But this is one of his best performances of his entire career in Part 4. Just great stuff here. Front to back. I can't recommend these enough. If you don't want the 4Ks, which I highly recommend, because the sound, like, these fuckers were rumbling my house last night. It was wild. The Blu-ray collection is fine too, though. Like, this is a nice set. I keep it just because, why not? These come with the Blu-rays and 4Ks and everything. Actually, do they come with Blu-rays? Yes, they do. They all come with the Blu-rays and the 4Ks. But I keep this box set just because it's nice. And why not? No point in selling it. But yeah, definitely the John Wick movies. My kids absolutely love them. My 2 daughters, teenage daughters, love these movies. My wife, Kayla, she loves them. I don't think she loves them as much as I do, but she loves them too. Like, every time I put these on, she gets excited and watches them front to back with me. Every single time. She's seen them multiple times as well. And she's not the biggest action movie lover. Like, she likes action movies, but she's not the biggest in the world. And these movies, I would bet you money she would probably give them all a 5 out of 5, as am I. To me, these are 4 5 out of 5s. for me. Dogs come in number 3, and I watch the special features, and these dogs are trained in what they call dog foo, and they perform stunts that are like unbelievable. It's freaking awesome shit. It's not all real, obviously. There's a little bit of like special effects, but honest to God, watch the special features and see what is real, because it's fucking nuts. It's crazy what they've trained these 2 dogs to be able to do. What else can I say? Bill Skarsgård's in part 4. Does an amazing job in that. Bad guy, obviously. Yeah. Gotta watch John Wick movies. If you haven't seen them, honestly, sit down, and it'll probably, like most people, probably take them a week to knock off all 4 of these. I did them in one day. All 4 of them yesterday. Back to back to back, one right after another. And enjoyed every minute of it. I didn't pick up my device once in the like almost 8 hours of watching this. It was just, and I've seen them multiple times, and I'm sucked in every time. One of the highlights to me in the entire series is in part 2, he has to go assassinate one of the heads of the table of the entire criminal organization world. And after he maybe does it, maybe doesn't, I won't say. After whatever he does, he has to escape this place. And the sequence and the music that they're playing and everything that when he's trying to get away is just fucking, it's perfect. Perfect action movie. It blows my mind, actually, like, because I've seen like a couple thousand, probably like 1,500 action movies in my life, or more, and I never thought, like, I thought I've seen all the greatest of all time, but these give everything a run from their money, man. I would argue that they are the best, and I would put them side by side with anybody and try to prove that point, that they are the best. But yeah, shorter episode today. But yeah, give Powerwolf a listen if you're a metal fan. Even if you're not, maybe they'll be good enough and they'll actually make you a metal fan. Who knows? All these here. Show them off one last time. Pretty good stack here. We got the John Wick and Insidious franchise. We got From Beyond. We got my DC animated. We got a beautiful freaking record. Yeah. Put this away now, and thanks for joining me yet again. I will be back in my next episode with another nice stack. I can't wait. Thank you so much.